2 months since the breakup. It's felt like a long time, but at the same time, feels like it's gone quite quickly. These past 2 months, I've felt every single emotion possible. I talk to my therapist and we talk about the feelings wheel, and I've definitely felt a lot of the negative emotions, every single negative emotion. But it's been quite a turbulent 2 months, in particular past few days, especially, being in contact with her. I think temporarily it felt nice to see her name again, even if it was in my inbox, but it felt nice to talk to her. But I think I had a different expectation of what the conversation was going to be about. Like, I had the ideal and mindset that, it was going to be she's going to talk to me with a warm, loving tone. But, that's just me romanticizing that person again. And instead it was a more, guarded type of tone, walls up. And, that's to be expected. Like, I hurt her because obviously she doesn't trust me at all. And that's, but the fact that she was, I guess, open to seeing me and talking to me in person is something, I guess. But, unfortunately, we weren't able to organize a time together that we were both available. So, I just said to her, you let me know when you're free and hopefully we can organize a time to see each other. But I left the ball in her court, and obviously she knows where I stand, where my head is at, because I sent a very, maybe overbearing and very emotional email to her, expressing my feelings, saying that I still miss her, I believe in us still, acknowledging my faults. And she returned that saying, I don't really fully believe what you said in the email. So it just feels like I'm talking to a stranger again, not that same person, and I keep romanticizing the person that she used to be with me. And 2 months is a long time. People change, feelings change. So I guess that's unfair of me to expect. Months have been incredibly draining on me, mentally taking a mental toll. But if I'm looking on the bright side, I've learned a lot about myself and still learning, still trying to understand myself and working on this, I guess, idea of my self-concept, which I've heard this term thrown around quite a bit online. This idea of, I guess, maximizing my potential and doing things that I enjoy doing and should be doing. It's not dependent on anyone else. It's just working on me and being the best version of myself. So I've been trying to get back into that, do things that I enjoy, work on things, pursue goals that I want to achieve. So I've been doing a lot of that, and a lot of it comes from doing things I enjoy, which are staying consistent at the gym, working on my body, eating healthier, working on my finances, trying to budget a lot better, and also learning, trying to grow as a person. So I've been listening to a lot of self-help podcasts, audiobooks, trying to understand myself better and how I can be better in certain situations. And the main thing is putting my energy towards things within my control. That's something I need to work on. And a lot of the problems that I had in the relationship was my self-value, my self-confidence, and this self-concept of myself. I didn't think highly of myself. It was all about my mindset. And I was dependent on her to provide that for me, which is unfair and not, it shouldn't be like that in a relationship. It should come from myself. So for me to get back to being the best version of myself, that comes from working out, being active, looking my best, feeling my best. And I know that's a very surface level thing, but for me, when I was younger, I grew up, quite a big kid, developed body dysmorphia. So I know when I look good, I feel better. So, and I think maybe in the relationship, I lost myself. I got a bit too comfortable, complacent. I stopped working out consistently, stopped eating healthy consistently. So trying to get back on track on that, because that's something that makes me feel good, and that opens up more doors for me when I feel confident in myself. Starting to rain now. Feels like, I always think this when it rains and I'm walking in the rain. Feels like, those rom-coms or like those music videos from back in the day. Always, a fantasy of mine is, waiting outside someone's house in the rain, with flowers. That's something that, I always wanted to do. That's besides the point. I think something for me is, I'm still not over the breakup, but something that's helped me come to terms with it, I guess, is forgiving myself and forgiveness. I don't know, I mentioned it in a video I made before, but learning to forgive not her, but also myself. I took a lot of the blame myself for the fallout of the relationship, and I learned that in order for her to forgive me, I need to forgive myself and acknowledge that I'm not perfect. I have a lot of things I need to work on, and forgiving myself is one of the first steps for me to move on. And what that forgiveness looks like for me is acknowledging my faults, but also working on them. And something that I did that she didn't like was the way I communicated when we argued. And I'm trying to be more calm and be less reactionary in situations. And when I communicate with kindness, love, and not communicate in anger in order to hurt someone I love the most. So I'm trying to work on that and put energy into things that I can control. And I can control my own emotions. So I can control the way I react to things, the way people act towards me. I don't have any control in them. So I need to learn to control how I am in certain situations. I used to pray for the day that she would reach out to me, and when she reached out to me, it wasn't what I wanted or expected. And I understand now what people mean by closure doesn't come from the other person, it comes from yourself. Because I don't know what I expected. Her reaching out, obviously I wanted her to say, I miss you, things of that nature, but she didn't say that, and I somehow feel like I wish she didn't reach out now. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm in like a bit of a state of limbo, because I said my piece. She kind of hasn't really told me her stance, but maybe hope. I said this the other day, but I think hope is a bit of a humiliation ritual. Honestly, clinging on to this hope that's never gonna materialize. That's just me and my head. My heart is just attached to this one person. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see her again, talk to her again, but I'm glad that, there's no bad blood between us, I guess. I still think very highly of her, but it's up to her if she wants to ever reach out again. And I'm kind of accepting of it now. Like, there's nothing I can do. I got everything I wanted off my chest in that email I sent, so I'm glad I did that for me and not for her. I needed to tell her how I felt, and that's I guess me giving closure to myself, because now I know that I tried everything I could, and what's done is done, and I gotta let everything fall into place now. I can't control the outcome. I can't make things happen, so we'll see.